So would you say that yoga transform your life on the mat and off?
When you add the breath to it and then allowing that to really let you, in whatever way, slow down, at least for me, it can be so beneficial to your mind, to your mental health. I just did not feel like I was serving any real purpose to the world. It wasn't that I couldn't do the work, I just didn't want to. When I left, I had no real plan. I had 2 classes on my roster, and I was like, this is gonna work. I think that is where it wasn't really now an addiction, but then it became a passion.
Are you managing everything yourself?
Yeah. Honestly, when you ask me that, I'm like, wait, is somebody else supposed to be?
Why are you not convinced that you're doing well?
In general, it might be just that I might have insecurity problems.
Okay.
If we're being honest.
Imposter syndrome kicking in.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Essentially. And that really is a thing, by the way. I mean, I know it's a thing, but it's like knowing it's a thing. Over the years, I realized I just gotta be myself though. Because they're actually coming back because of me. They're coming back to me because of me.
At no point in time did you have fear and doubt where you were like, I want to go back and get a job?
Never ever.
Never ever.
No. I do not want to go back in any way, shape, or form.
Welcome to another episode of Gems from Friends. This is a podcast about entrepreneurs, creators, and professionals. My guests will be sharing stories about their journey and what they have learned so far while building their personal brand. You can listen to the episodes on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or if you like to watch, you can see them on YouTube. But it's important to subscribe so that you can get notifications whenever I upload new episodes.
Today, we have in the studio Danielle Moore, aka DemiYoga. How did you get into yoga and what made you want to create a business out of it?
I started doing yoga more so I actually started doing pole first, pole fitness, and all of the pole moves were like super sexy, super flexible people. And I did not feel like I was one of them, and I needed to become one of them. So I went onto YouTube, started doing a whole heap of videos, how to get your split and this and that and the other. And from that, the videos were actually yoga videos. I honestly didn't really know what it was. I was like, yeah, I'll just do it, whatever's gonna get me to split. So did the videos, and the first one I did was like a 50-minute video, and it was like, there's no way I can't do this.
A 15-minute?
50.
Oh, okay, 50.
And I was like, I cannot do this. This is too much. This is too hard.
Okay.
And I was at that time a volleyball player, so I felt like I was pretty active. I also used to dance. And this 50-minute stretch video was taking my life. So I looked for shorter videos, 10-minute videos. And those were the ones that had me like hooked. So I would do the videos, and then eventually I started to see the progress. And in and around that, it was me and a bunch of other people who were also quite interested in doing yoga or getting flexible or just getting a headstand, because why not?
Right.
Or I can name a whole heap of postures too, but arm balances, because they look like fun on Instagram.
Right.
So that is where my yoga journey would have started. And I kind of sort of became obsessed with it. And pole at the same time. I would it was about 2 or 3 pole classes a week. And then I would go home and start to just try to master whatever yoga pose it was at the time. It's like, because there were a bunch of people on Instagram doing these yoga challenges, and it was all 30-day challenges, and I couldn't miss a day.
Okay.
So I had to post. So let me get this posture, this headstand. I've never done it before, but I gotta get it today, because today is the first, and you must post this headstand on the first. So it became, I guess, addictive. But after, I guess, all of that hype would have, I won't even say settled, but I guess settled a little bit, I started to really see the benefits of the breath work that came along with the yoga poses, or that came along with the yoga practice. So also going to other teachers, local teachers' classes, and learning how they are teaching something that I would have just seen on the same YouTube. Because I do my own thing at home, but then I want to go to actual class. Now I want to actually be in front of somebody who can correct me.
Right.
And they're saying to breathe this time and breathe out, So I was like, oh, okay, this feels a little different. And it felt a little more meaningful. And I think that is where it wasn't really now an addiction, but then it became a passion.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes
Addiction
sense.
is such a strong word, though.
Well, I felt like I was truly like it was a drug, like I need to have it.
Okay.
But it wasn't really a drug, now was it?
Okay.
It was really beneficial to my body. I did not feel like I had injury for however long.
Okay.
For years. It's only now. To be honest, I getting older and these injuries happening, and the yoga is the thing that's helping.
Okay. Okay.
Because just because I am a yoga body does not mean that I am not human. I
Yeah, of
still
course
get
not.
injured.
Yeah.
People do ask. It's like, wait, but you do yoga. How you could be injured? I'm human, sir. I'm
Right.
human, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Not exactly. At which point did you wanted to make it a business?
I think I wanted to make it a business long after I actually made it a business. I don't know if that makes sense. So I
Break it down.
I like to be in control, I suppose, of most things. Me and yoga friends, we would meet up
Mm-hmm.
to do our yoga at Graham Hall Sanctuary when it was a sanctuary, and other places, to be honest. It wasn't a class that anybody had to come and pay to go to, but it was something we would do. And then we would actually travel around the island and meet and do yoga just randomly anywhere. I like the idea of leading the practice. I don't think I did it quite often, but I like the idea of leading the practice. And it wasn't any of them specifically, but it was this one guy who asked me because it was always posting on Instagram, right? He was like, "Hey, I would like to do yoga." I was like, "I don't. I could probably put you on to a teacher." He's like, "No, I want you to do it." I was like, "Nah, I could put you on to a teacher," because at that time I didn't really feel like I should be teaching anybody
Okay.
who is new to it. I would have rather sent them to a class or give them a YouTube link because I didn't feel like I was certified. I wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
But he insisted. I was like, all right, fine, I'll meet you. We'll do it. $10. Right? And
$10. Okay.
yeah, a private one-on-one session, $10. I didn't feel like he was insistent, and I was like, all right, whatever, let's do this. So I did it. And I was like, yo, I actually like this.
Okay.
I
Okay.
actually like teaching this class. I didn't think I was doing it well. And actually, after the first one, I was like, yeah, I don't think I'll do this again. He's like, nah, that was good. That was really good. We should do it again. And I went back. I don't even know if it was every week or what, but I did go back and taught him a few times. And that made me now look into actually doing a yoga certification.
Okay.
So I did a short course, so to speak. So it wasn't how the yoga certifications go is usually like a 200-hour, 300-hour, 500-hour. I did a 8-hour certification just to see,
Mm-hmm.
because I was like, I don't really want to spend all that money if I'm not gonna like it. So I did that, and then after that, I was still only teaching him. Is when I went back to do the 200-hour training, that because I did that, I think April of 2016,
Mm-hmm.
August of 2017.
Okay.
Don't quote me, anybody who listens. I don't really remember, but August of 2017, the year and some later,
Mm-hmm.
is when I did my 200-hour training.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah,
Okay.
I probably should start doing this for money, because the first set of classes, I was still working somewhere at a hotel. Yes, at Accra.
Okay.
I was still working there. I was actually a wedding planner.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
High stress.
I know. I loved it. Honestly, I still do weddings every now and then. I just don't really advertise it. People who know me from that time would be like, "Hey, you don't do weddings?" Yeah, I guess, sort of. But
So you go between a high stress job to a very zen job. Got it. Great balance.
but it's great. But I was a wedding planner, and then I went on to be a property manager, actually. And then is when I was like, all right, I don't think that this is for me. It was literally after I came back from my 200-hour training that was in Costa Rica. I didn't think it would be life-changing, but it was, right? I came back to work at the property manager company, and I just did not feel like I was serving any real purpose to the world. I was like, why am I taking care of houses for people? They could do it themselves. But it wasn't that I couldn't do the work. I just didn't want to.
Right. Your heart wasn't there.
And when I left, luckily I was living at home, but I had no real plan. I had 2 classes on my roster. And I was like, this is going to work.
Right.
This is going to work. Because I have free time now, when people call and ask for jobs, it's like easy for me to say yes.
Okay.
Like, sure, I got time, but I really did not know how to charge. I don't know.
Right.
But at that time, I was still at home.
Okay.
So I don't feel like all that time I really was trying to really make money. I was just enjoying sharing my yoga practice with people.
Okay.
And the benefits that I felt with everybody else.
So you felt fulfillment and you weren't really money driven at the time.
I don't even think I am now.
Okay.
I moved out in the middle of COVID. And
who does that?
I don't know, but I moved out October 2020 and paying the rent now. That's when I was like, all right, I got these bills to pay.
Yeah, start a business.
Now I started doing it because it's COVID. Now I got try to find a way to get people online to do yoga. I hated that, by the way. When we could finally go outside, some specials to like get people out there, but it was hard. That was a time. I think that is when it was like, okay, I really actually got to do this for money. I can't, because I was so set on, prior to all this, I was so set on just enjoying my life. I wanted to make sure I could travel twice a year. I don't know why, but I need to be able to travel and take a break.
Right. That's important.
And even though I still do that, I still make sure that I travel. But I don't know.
Okay. So would you say that yoga transformed your life on the mat and off?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was on the mat, sure. It definitely was. You could see it happening. You could see it in front of your face. Off the mat, I think my growth took it took a while. I'm not necessarily comparing it to anything, but it did take its time. Most of my growth, I would say, actually started in the same COVID. I think it was forced to happen. I don't know if that makes sense. Maybe a lot of us were forced to grow.
Yeah.
To look deep within your own. Well, I was now on my own, so I had to kind of find a way to get through all these thoughts.
Yeah, you gotta make it work. So did you have anybody guiding you or helping you on the business side of things? Because that would have been the first time you really had to like do your own, business in a sense where, I mean, you're doing wedding planning, but were you doing that for yourself or you were working under a company?
I was working for a company, yeah. For Accra, yeah.
Okay. So this will be the first time now that you got to really take control of your accounting and balancing and invoicing and really.
Have I had any guidance from somebody that is calling himself a financial advisor? No. Did my mother help a lot? Yeah, sure. Definitely. I'm not trying to make it casual, but she did. Yes, friends can offer advice and all that too, but it was mostly me. um, figuring it out. I don't feel like I hit rock bottom.
Okay. Okay.
So, I mean, it just had to make the right decisions, I suppose.
Right.
I started selling athleisure wear as well.
Okay.
The lashes would have come about before, and that was just on a whim. Didn't really think that through. I honestly don't like doing it.
So we should talk about that.
Let's not talk about it. I don't really like doing it, but that just happened on a whim. I am going to be selling yoga mats soon.
Okay.
I just got email
Congrats on
today that they're here on island. Yay! very
Congrats
excited.
on that.
People were telling me to do this for long, and I'm like, no, they have to be of good quality. They're gonna cost a lot if I bring them in
Mhm.
because I don't want they're the I wish I could show you one now, like the $40 mats that you could get at Cost You Less or
Okay.
wherever. They, to me, aren't good quality. So I
Right.
never wanted to bring in that type of mat. And I never, honestly, didn't really want to put any work to find a proper mat, but I started late last year. I got sent samples, blah, 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 blah. And finally, they're on island. I don't know when I can get them. You know how it goes. But they're on island. DemiYoga. Yay. So that should be happening. I won't blame it, you know. But anyway, I am in the works of signing a lease to have a studio space.
I gotta get the other flaws. You don't have any headphones, so you can't hear it.
Finally, I wanted that for a while. Actually, when I moved out, that was the intention was that the space I was living in, I could use as a studio as well. And I kind of started did
Right.
private sessions. And then for the time when we were really locked down, I used the space as my studio. I guess quite like this, like how a studio space.
Mhm.
Don't have to be too humongous, just enough for me and my
Mhm.
mat. And then when we open up and so on, fine. I let a few people in and we did that for a couple months. And then finally we open, and then, okay, go back into other people's studio spaces because I need a
Right.
bigger space.
Mhm.
Looking for how long? How many years? That's what? It's 2024. 4 years now. Looking
Okay.
for a space.
Right.
Finally found one.
Right. Okay.
So
But you're happy with that space and okay, so what is your plan now that you have this because you got like a lot of things happening now. You do any lashes which you don't even really want to advertise because you don't like doing it. But you have the space now and you have merch, you have like branded stuff now, like the yoga mat and so on.
how is all of it gonna fit?
I mean, like it sounds good. It's a nice little ecosystem you got going on. And are you managing everything yourself?
Yeah. Honestly, when you ask me that, I'm like, wait, is somebody else supposed to be? Yeah.
I mean, like it's like some people get help. I mean, yes, you know what? A lot of entrepreneurs and personal brands, like we gotta be the cook, the bottle washer, and everything because the finances that are coming in is not like humongous that you could just pay all these different people,
Mhm.
right? But sometimes you want to scale, so sometimes you might have somebody. It could be a friend or somebody will come in or be an intern or something to just
Mhm.
help. So I just wanted to find out as a yoga teacher, because you didn't really you didn't do business.
Mm-mm.
And I just wanted to know if you had any mentorship from any financial institutions or advisors or whatever to help.
No. No, I did not.
Or did you watch like YouTube videos and try to do like a
Maybe I
quick
should.
crash course on invoicing and stuff like that?
I think, to be honest, I learned a lot of any of these business stuff from Accra. I was there for 9, 10 years.
Okay.
And from intern to whatever wedding coordinator, 9 years, admin
So
assistant,
you
blah, blah.
start working from what age? Because you look young.
Young thing. What did I do? So I actually did tourism management
Okay.
as
Which has nothing to do with yoga.
no, but I left that. I went straight into internship at Accra. The manager at the time was like, yeah, we're gonna need you to stay. I gotta find a way for you to stay. I was like, okay. And whatever year that was, from then, 10 years later is when
Okay.
I left. But I think throughout that 10-year period is when I would have learned, I suppose, all these
Okay. Okay.
marketing tricks or not necessarily how to manage money because that was somebody else's money. It kind of just,
Right.
but
So your 9 to 5 kind of
I
still
think it
help
helped
you.
me a lot, to be
Right.
honest.
It give you a little springboard.
But in terms of what you asked, doing any um financial courses or YouTube or any of that, no,
Okay.
I do it all myself. Yeah.
Okay. So how about the branding? Like, how did you come up with how your brand should look and how you should how you're showing up on social media? Because a lot of your stuff looks clean. It looks put together
Mhm.
well. It looks cohesive. Like, you have some kind of, know how in branding and how marketing works. So
Well, thanks. I
what do you made that face for the listeners
I
that are not watching? She made a face like, really? Like, what are you talking about?
I don't know. I was actually speaking with a friend of yours. It was last week or week before, and I was telling him I don't really see myself as a brand, me.
Okay.
And he was saying, but it's not that you. He said, I wish I could quote it. But he said branding is not necessarily only the logo and the color scheme and all that kind of stuff, but it's just in general. Yeah. It's like if he was doing a little short course with me in like 2 minutes, but is more about how I present myself and
Yeah.
what do people think of when they see you. Apparently yoga, because it doesn't matter where I go. Yoga girl. Yes, yes.
And that's good.
It is good.
It's good that when you show up, people, because the biggest problem that people have is getting people to connect who they are with what they do.
Mm-hmm.
So they find out when you show up and people could be like, yeah, that's a yoga girl. That's DemiYoga. Because that's what you know you as.
Mm-hmm.
I don't already call you Daniel. It's like
No,
DemiYoga.
nobody doesn't. Well, my friends, yeah, but not many people call me Danielle.
Right. So your brand is now DemiYoga.
Mm-hmm.
And which, so I'm saying that you did a really good job, even if you didn't do it intentionally.
Right. So it
It
really
happened by
wasn't.
accident. You fall into a good place.
So asking me how I did it, I don't know. I scroll Instagram a lot, but at the same time, I'm watching how the influencers are putting together what they put together. Da 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 da. I'm like, okay, I don't have to imitate this like scene for scene, but I could
Yeah.
do something yoga related.
Mhm.
Actually, now I'm my page. I don't know if you see much yoga on it anymore. If you really look at it, the yoga is further down.
Right. And I wanted to ask you about that. Like, how did you know how to balance between your personal and your lifestyle posts and posts for business?
I
Or you
did.
just wing it? You
I
just
did.
whatever
I
comes.
didn't. I was winging it a lot. I had lost my drive for posting a lot last year.
Mm-hmm.
I had the year before it was, I think I had this one random viral post that didn't make no sense to me. I did not think it through, all that you think through and you're like so critical with what you do. You post, nobody don't like it. Or at least it feels like not enough people are liking this thing that I spent so much time on. Then
Mm-hmm.
it was a random post. I think it was heading home from a party and I posted it and 1 million views. I'm like, what?
You have 1 million views. Wow.
But it's just one. It was just one, but it was
But you got a lot of
wait,
followers from that.
I did.
Yeah.
And I think that's what made me kind of lose my momentum because they were following me for the wrong reason now.
Okay. Right.
So I was like,
They weren't following for the yoga. So you didn't really hit the. So you see, that's one of the reasons why it's good to be still intentional about what you post, because you gotta think about your audience
Mhm.
and you gotta nurture your audience,
Mhm.
because then you don't want to bring in people that you're not fitting for. So I want to hear from you. Why should yoga be part of my lifestyle?
You specifically as a man or in general?
In general.
In general, I feel yoga is meant to at least for me anyway, help you connect more to your body and your breath, right? I mean, simply put, at least for me, I think that in actually practicing yoga, like actually stretching your body, if you want to just call it stretching, being mobile, it definitely will just help you. Like if you forget about the breathing properly into the imposter, when you add the breath to it, and then allowing that to really let you, in whatever way, slow down, at least for me, it can be so beneficial to your mind, to your mental health.
So it's just not like a physical benefit, but it's also like a mental benefit as well.
Definitely.
Why should I come to you? Why should I interrupt anything that I'm doing in my day to put yoga in? And why should I come to you?
Lord, okay. I used to ask myself that. Like, why do people come to me? They could choose anybody else. Well, I feel like I kind of just answered the way you should interrupt your party day to come to you to do yoga. It's good for your mental health. But in terms of why you should come to me, and I think it's still hard for me to answer because I don't know if I always believe it. But I do think I am a good yoga teacher.
You think so?
I think so. I hope so. When I see the benefits, so there are a few people who have been with me from the get-go, how their body was then versus how it is now. And I'm like, do you see that?
Right.
And
so you saw transformation.
I see actual physical body transformation.
Right. So you're doing something. You're doing a good job.
Just need to remind myself that I am.
Right.
Okay.
So what would make you more convincing? Why are you not convinced that you're doing?
In general, it might be just that I might have insecurity problems.
Okay.
If we're being honest, but
okay. So imposter syndrome kicking in. Right. Okay.
Essentially. And that really is a thing, by the way.
Yeah, of course it's a thing.
I mean, I know it's a thing, but it's like knowing it's a thing. I used to try to, I think, mimic other teachers when I first started. I think I felt like I needed to give the class like them because they're the ones that inspired me. So like, why not? Over the years, I realized I just gotta be myself though. Because they're actually coming back because of me. They're coming back to me because of me. And the people that don't come back to me, is not that they don't necessarily like Danielle. It's just that maybe Danielle and them don't
fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it. Actually, when people are trying to get into my schedule, I'm like, okay, but I know someone else that can fit the time that you told me. Here, you can go to them.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, I can find a way to get to you. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
But I really just want you to do yoga. So that's the point that I've come to. Like, I would love to encourage and tell everybody come to Danielle, but at the same time, I really just want you to do yoga because I think the benefit is going to be great.
Right.
Of just including it in your daily life.
Right.
And I don't necessarily do yoga every day anymore. Yeah, back when I was addicted, sure. But now it's probably like 3 times a week that I actually get in my own little practice. But it's hard when they said that at training that you will not get to do yoga as much as you used to. I was like, nah, that's not possible. But no, fitting it in. When I get home, I just want to lay down.
I can imagine.
I just want to lay down. And am I actually standing up and teaching, doing all the moves, how many ever hours in a day? No, I'm not. I actually try very hard to be very articulate in my cueing so that I don't have to do everything because my body would not be happy if I were doing that.
Right.
So I also have to take care of myself in the midst of all this. So that balance is also kind of hard.
Right.
But I just think that even if you are, some people are very injured that they can't actually do a mat practice, like on the ground practice. I have a chair yoga session as well, so you could sit and do yoga. So I could give you a little something here if you wanted.
Okay.
If you really wanted.
Okay.
But sitting and breathing for 2 minutes, like just being still.
Mm-hmm.
If you could include that in every single day of your life, that'd be great. You, Matthew.
Okay. Okay. I hear that. I hear that. I hear that. But I just wanted to know, I wanted to kind of get behind why you don't feel like you are doing it when you are doing
Why?
it.
Why? I don't know. I don't know what it is that clouds my vision.
Okay.
I really don't know.
Well, this is normal. So just letting you know that
Mhm.
that I think at some part of our journey, we all go through this. And no matter how many people may give us validation, you still get to a point where like I might be a fraud and if I know yet, that kind of thing, right?
And that's actually happening right now. And that's unfortunate for you asking me today. The last few weeks, I'm like, I don't know why these people are coming to me for yoga.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
But
anyway, I can keep showing up.
I think what you may need to do is go back to your way. Like, what is your way? Why are you doing it? Right.
Mhm.
And then you also have evidence. So keep track of your evidence, record your evidence,
Mhm.
take pictures of your evidence, ask for testimonials. Because the same way you take these things, you might pitch yourself to other people to get more clients. And you're also reminding yourself as well and giving yourself scores like, okay, this is what I'm doing.
Mhm.
So that's your metric. So you just need to take time to look
Mhm.
back at what you're doing. Because you might actually look back and say, okay, maybe I can improve this, I can do that, or whatever. And give yourself props for the progress that other people are making. And also look at it in a fact where you are making a difference in someone's life. And even if someone is doing it better than you, which you might just think in your head, the whole point is that you are one step ahead of somebody else.
Mhm.
And again, Tommy came on here and she shared a gem from Sesame Street. To who was it to? I can't remember. It was to Belle, I think. And she said, there's only one you. So meaning that they may have all of these yoga teachers that you all share the same vast of knowledge,
Mhm.
but there's only one you. You know what I'm saying? So people choose you because of your personality, your vibe, your energy, your technique, like whatever other value you bring to the table. And I
Mhm.
think you should own that and be just more convincing in it.
I can try. I think what could also be clouding it right now is because I know I'm about to make this big step with
Right.
the studio. And I'm like, wait, you gonna do something like that. You don't need a studio. So I think it's just, I need to get over this little,
Yeah. That's the enemy. We reboot that.
yeah,
You're gonna do well.
yeah, we got this.
Anytime that you're about to do something bigger that is gonna make you uncomfortable, that fear
Mhm.
is normal. But that fear also is the indicator to tell you
Let's keep going,
it's
right?
go time. It's go
The
time.
thing is, I never felt this fear when I left that job though.
Really.
I was quite okay with walking away and just my 2 classes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was one time the change was easy, I would say.
Okay. What are some of the misconceptions yoga?
People think it's a religion.
Okay.
I don't know why, so I really can't go deep into it.
Right. But you know the history of it and you
We
research
would have,
all of that.
yeah, I would have done my own little research, Google, prior to training. But it's not a religion. We do our movement, we do our breath work, we connect breath to movement. At the end of it is your shavasana or your meditation, but it is not meant to be in any way a religion. You connect to your God,
Mm-hmm.
whomever he or she might be, but there is no yoga God,
Right.
so to speak. Um, what other misconceptions? It's only for women. That
Right.
one angers me.
I could see the frustration and the anger
That
in your
one
face.
angers me. I created a whole men's class, not because of that though, but I created a whole men's class because I really just want men to take care of themselves, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but it's definitely not just for women. What else? What else? What
Are
else?
you seeing men receptive to it now? Has it changed?
There was a point when I was like, okay, maybe this class isn't gonna work, maybe wrong time. But the few men that are still coming, like at the end of class, is a whole sit down for like 15 minutes, just not necessarily talking, but just at peace.
Right, right.
It was last week or a week before when one of the guys was leaving. He was like, all right, back to the real world. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, but I like that they have that space as a getaway,
Mhm. Mhm.
just to chill. They say they get to sleep better. And that's not only the men's class. Everybody, not everybody, most people tell me that same thing, that they sleep a lot better the same night at least. They feel more at peace. They feel more relaxed. I would say it's fine. It's consistent for what is right now.
Okay.
I would love for more men to come and experience it, but even if I were to just put the men's class in a bracket by itself, no, I'm not making any money. But I can't get myself to move it off my roster. Because I know why I put it there,
Right. The way is strong.
The
So
way for that is strong. So
that's true.
I won't bring it off my roster.
Okay. So you mentioned you had a group of men in there and they were like, oh, going off to the real world now. And you felt like, oh.
Mhm.
Is there any tips or anything that you can share or any techniques that you can do when you're not on the mat and when you're actually in the real world? Like whether you might be, let's say you're in a chair driving or a seat, sorry. And or just anything, like if you just stand up in the lane, is there anything that we can keep practicing?
To be to be more present, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Okay.
Might sound simple, but instead of letting the whole train of thoughts that makes you anxious or worry or stress or whatever, just try to stay present in the moment
In a moment.
where you are. And what can help, at least what helps for me with doing that, is breathing.
Hmm.
Breathing and actually breathing. I know it sounds silly, but we breathe every day, fine. It's natural.
Yeah.
We weren't really taught how to breathe. But when you actually allow yourself to take proper deep breaths and use your lungs to their full capacity, like a full breath in
Hmm.
and a full breath out. Like I was gonna tell you, but I was like, Danielle, don't do it. Don't go yoga on him. But I mean, it is a yoga talk, right?
Use DemiYoga. Come on.
But
I expected it.
a full proper breath in. Um, You want to try?
We can try. We can get there. I just want to get through the questions, and then we can
But
carve out some time for that.
for me, it is taking deep breaths. I think it's really helpful.
Okay.
Calming.
What would you tell someone who's a little intimidated to try yoga?
What would I tell them?
You ever had people that were like, it looks interesting, but it doesn't, because people would see the poses. I'm like, I can never do that. Like, what's your advice to them? Like,
Depends on the situation. If they're right in front of me
mhm,
and they're open enough to, like, depending on where we are sitting on the ground, and let's do something. Let me show you something. Let me show you what you can actually do. I would do that. I
mhm.
have.
The way I see it, I guess some of the poses, I guess you have to let people know that you don't get there at day one,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a process, and you eventually have to go into the beginner moves and then ease them into
Well,
that.
yeah. Well, I do have the beginner classes, but I still don't really like to force it on anybody.
Right.
Because even the beginner classes, beginner meaning more accessible to everybody, but it doesn't mean that the postures are easy. I don't know
Right.
if that makes sense, right? It's similar posture. It's just I get you into the posture in an easier way. And I wish that when I started, that I had the knowledge I had now. How I was teaching then, it wasn't necessarily bad, but I think I forgot that we all kind of need to start somewhere. And you have to be more gentle with how you get these people into the postures, Danielle. But it is even telling people, to be honest, telling people, but I got beginner class, you could come to that one. It is sometimes is not enough.
Right. Right.
They have to literally mentally want to be there
Be there.
or
Right.
want to train or be open to train.
Okay.
So it's more about trying to get them to have an open mind to just start the process in the first place.
To get started. Okay. And then for men, obviously like men see more results or feel that they get more results in the gym. They want
Mhm.
like we want to lift up heavy weight. We just want to be spending an hour stretching.
Mhm.
What would you say to that?
It's still hard trying to get them into the class. So I'm still trying to figure it out, like what.
Okay. But to talk about the city benefits then, let's talk about okay, if you go to the gym, how can yoga complement that?
I actually have kind of conformed to not calling it yoga a lot of the time, and I just say stretch.
Okay.
That seems to be a more welcomed word.
Hmm.
All these things are the same. So I don't know if I want you to tell people this, but it's the same postures, but let's stretch out those muscles that you would have just, pumped up.
Right.
That is a way, I suppose, to get men in. And maybe I should change how I actually have that flair. No, now that we're talking about this, maybe I change it because I had it as men's health.
Right.
And I thought that I would, but maybe I should just say stretch session.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's still part of a bigger picture, which is men's health. And there's a lot of different components that go
Mhm.
into that. And stretching is one of the major ones.
I'll think about that. I really will, because maybe it will get more guys in the class actually working on, their bodies.
Yeah. What other challenges you have been experiencing since you started this as a business?
There are some, I don't know if to call it a challenge though. So there are some classes that I wanted to experiment with, like, I don't know if these are challenges. Experiment with and have like different types of music playing as opposed to what people might expect, like the
Spa music,
yoga spa
the
music
elevator
playing.
music. Yeah.
I don't know the answer to this question. I don't feel like I had a lot of challenges that I was struggling through or anything like that. At least not for me. Because I feel like every business has its ups and downs.
Okay. At no point in time did you have fear and doubt where you were like, I want to go back and get a job.
Never ever.
Never ever.
No. I do not want to go back in any way, shape, or form to work for anybody.
Okay.
I do not think I would do well. No, you cannot tell me what to do. Not in any joke, but I as much as I might not feel confident sometimes about why people are coming to me, I don't feel like they will ever stop
Right.
coming to me to the point that I'm like, all right, gotta go find a job.
Right. Okay. Okay. So you are in a comfortable
The
position.
last thing was, I was like, let me make a little extra money just so I could have fun.
I got you.
It wasn't, I need this extra money. I didn't feel like it was urgent.
Okay. Do people with injuries or some form of limitations can still take part of yoga?
Yes. It depends on how, bad the injury is, but I feel like there's always a way. The chair yoga class is I think the reason why that came about was more for like seniors, persons who really just can't go into a downward dog.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they can sit in a chair and do these similar stretches, similar yoga stretches in their chair. But even with injuries, again, depending on what the injury is, you can still do a mat practice sitting on the ground, or you just leave out certain stuff. As long as the person communicates with their teacher where their injury is or their limitation, whichever body movement, of course, we can find a way to help you to move your body.
Okay.
Same thing with pregnancy, people that are expecting. There is always a way. I have a lady who is, what is she, about 5 months now, with twins. And she's still coming to her regular yoga class. When it comes to a point when I'm like, all right, she can't do this, I walk over to her.
Mm-hmm.
She knows because this is her second pregnancy with me, but I go over to her like, hey, please do not try this pose. And she like, all right, fine. Because she still wants to, but I could still find a way in any class to help accommodate somebody with an injury or whatever they may have going on.
Okay. So someone that have like anxiety, like yoga could help them?
I would just say maybe start with a gentle class, a beginner class.
Mm-hmm.
Just to, because if it depends on how great it is again, but if it is that some of the postures are actually going to make you feel a little anxious again, maybe let's do something gentle.
Okay.
And if it is not too bad and you can actually be in a group setting, then fine. But if you would rather have your session where it's just me and you, maybe that's just better.
Okay.
To start, just see how you feel. Some people are quite nervous in that type of setting for whatever reason in front of others, and they would rather just do in-person practice. Okay.
Got it.
Fine.
This just feels like it seems simple, but going into it is a lot. Like being a yoga teacher.
Yeah.
Because not only you have to know your discipline, like yoga, you have to be up to date with all these different stretches and moves and so on, and make sure that you don't cause injuries and whatever. And then you also have to know how to teach. You have to have techniques on how to communicate. You got to be a good communicator. You have to be emotionally intelligent as well.
You have to
be
people.
You gotta be a people's person.
Yeah.
Then you have to manage your business. You gotta manage your money. You gotta manage your brand.
With you listing everything like this, yeah.
And then you have to, and now you're gonna have a place. You gotta manage your place, the actual physical.
So you see how it all fits together.
Yeah, and now you have your yoga mat. So now you gotta keep stock. You gotta do inventory.
Yeah. Okay.
You gotta do orders. So it's
like a lot, but I don't feel like it's too much.
No, I don't think it's too much. I think it's great. I'm just trying to highlight and tell you and show you that you are doing extremely well.
Thank you.
Because doing all those things and juggling that's not easy. And to be able to do it in a way that you still got people coming back, because it means that you're doing something good. You're changing lives and you are creating a difference in the world. Do you believe that you're creating a difference in the world?
The world?
Yes, of course.
Sure. The world. Yes.
We are in the world, right?
We are in the world. Yes, I am making a difference. But the whole point of it, the whole why I left the job to come and do yoga was because I felt like I wasn't, like I already said, I ain't doing nothing here. Wait, I need to feel like I'm actually serving a purpose. I know I do most of the time.
So you feel purposeful?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I think, yeah, it's probably just low.
I got you. All right. So I may have something for you. So this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm gonna do. So I have this thing on the show where you have to leave a gem,
Oh,
right? So,
I watched that, but I didn't know that I had to do it too.
but no, hold on. This is what I'm going to do. I can make it even easier for you.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to give you your gem first, not the person left. And I don't know who's going to be the next guest. So it all just kind of just divine. It's all random or random. So I'm going to play the gem that he left for you, all right?
Understanding the power of purpose. Identify what your purpose is.
That's so
And once
crazy.
you identify what your purpose is, despite how challenging or like out of the world your dreams may be, dream them and then identify your purpose, what your purpose is, and go towards that direction. And never be afraid to evolve. Evolution is important. You may have started off as a school teacher. Now you're doing something else. You may have started off in the banking sector. You feel this urge, that niggling urge, you're getting up every day and you're going to work, but you don't feel fulfilled. It means that you're in a place that you're not supposed to be. And allow that negativity to push you into becoming the person that you're supposed to be. We get uncomfortable. We find ourselves in uncomfortable situations because we're not where we're supposed to be, and then it becomes so septic that we actually have physical reactions to it. Some people get up every morning, they have a headache. Some people get up, their back is always aching. Some people get up and they throw up all the time because where they are mentally or where they may be in terms of their job or their life, they're not happy. They're not happy. So as a result, they can't function. So it is important. Your mental health and your survival in 2024 depends on the decisions that you make in terms of being able to choose another path for yourself, the right path. Because you might be on a path that you might say, well, this is all my life is. I don't think I could get out of it. You can, but it starts by making the first step. You might got ignore calls from a boyfriend or a girlfriend. You may have to say, nah, I ain't like into tonight, man. No, I ain't getting in the gap. I ain't doing whatever. You need to create that little cocoon for yourself. It's in that silence and in that darkness that you begin to evolve. It's hard to evolve and change in front of everybody. You need time away. And you will find in every religious book, whether it's with Muhammad or whether it's with Jesus, those guys took time away. They took time away. Jesus went off and he prayed. He was by himself, recharged himself, and he went back and do what he had to do. It's the same thing. We as human beings, we need to unplug. We need to unplug, and we need to take that time when we unplug to heal and also to challenge ourselves to be greater and to be better. But purpose, man. Purpose.
And that is your gem for the day.
Now that's interesting.
Does it resonate?
For sure.
That's for you.
Oh, Lord.
That's for you. You need a moment? So I when you actually brought up the whole purpose thing and the fulfillment and stuff like that, and it was like in my head, like, well, she didn't even know what was coming. She had no idea what was coming.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's where we are. So what I'm gonna get you to do, and if you need a moment, I want your gem to be.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need tissue? It's fine. It's fine because his glasses was off because he was tearing up as well at his gym. So it's normal. It's normal now. I want your gem to be a demonstration.
Oh, really? Of yoga?
A demonstration of like something that is easy that they can start or they can. You do it. I don't want to control it too much. I just want to guide you there and.
But yoga, as in something that the next person.
Yeah, can try, can practice, can incorporate into their life.
How much time I got?
Will you try? You want? We move already table and all that, you know. Yeah.
Interesting.
Let's go.
teaching my glasses on these days.
That's old age.
I think so. I think so. All right. Well, you could do it with me, huh?
I will.
All right. I don't know who I'm talking to. It doesn't matter.
We don't even.
Oh, well. So I just want this experience, this to more be a way for you to slow down, to bring clarity into your thoughts. It is a breathing exercise. It's called block breathing. So how you do it, you breathe in for a couple counts. You try to hold your breath for a couple counts. You breathe out and you hold again for a couple counts. When I say hold, it's like you're not breathing in or out, you're literally just holding. So let's do it. Well, I won't be able to do it while I talk.
That's fine.
But let's try. So empty your lungs. Empty, empty, empty. You're going to take a big breath in for 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Just one more. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold 1, 2, 3, 4. A lot can happen when you're being still. Sometimes you just have to kind of let it happen. You don't have to control everything.
Oh, I actually feel very relaxed now.
I've been using that breathing technique a lot in the last few weeks that I've been teaching.
Okay. And is this something simple you can do?
It really is.
You could do anywhere.
You can do it anywhere. You could.
So when you were in there in the school traffic, you could do it.
You really can.
You know.
Because how long was that? That wasn't very long.
Not really.
Yeah, it's just a matter of allowing yourself to be still, to be honest.
And being present, as you had said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We live a lot in the future for whatever reason, and the past.
Mm-hmm.
And we use the past to, in our minds, help determine what's going to happen in the future. But there's no way. There's no way of knowing.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing.
You're
And
welcome.
thank you for, breaking down your journey and how you got to it. And, hopefully it could help at least one other person.
I hope so too. Thank you very much for having me.
Yes. And it's a wrap. That was great. I love it. Hold up, before you go, I want to politely ask you to please join our mailing list. The link will be in the description below. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple, it's going to be in the show notes. Okay? And you're going to want to be part of this mailing list because I will be sending out exclusive invites to networking events, pop-up shops, and branding workshops. There's a whole set of stuff happening. Yeah. So Gem City movement going on. Please subscribe to the mailing list. You will also get a peek on the inside of the making of everything that's happening here. All right? Peace.